Hi, I'm Martin Coccolo and this is my interview with Comics Guardian. Hope you enjoy it.
Hi Martin, I must tell you that it's a special moment for me. I'm a huge fan of Thor in comics. I'm maybe the number one fan in France, maybe, of Thor.
Okay.
So to have this opportunity to talk with the artists who work actually at the moment on Thor, it's incredible. So thank you. And to begin, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I have a great time talking to fans and people who actually follow and enjoy what I do. And it's a privilege for me. I love doing what I do and talking to fans about comics and Thor in particular. So yeah, thank you for having me.
First of all, I want to talk about your childhood in Uruguay. Right now, do you live in Uruguay or are you in the United States?
I still live in Uruguay.
So you work from Uruguay?
Yeah. Everything through internet, as many of us do. Yeah, I grew up in Uruguay. I'm 40, so I grew up in the late 80s and early 90s. I was always a huge fan of comics and media in general. Like cartoons and comics and movies, all that great stuff. So I was a huge fan of reading and also visual stuff. So I logically gravitated to comics, and I would get mostly. I would get the Spanish edition of DC Comics. So it was called Cinco with a set. And I would read most of what I read as a youngster was DC because that's what I had on hand. Like 99% of the comics I got in my city was basically DC, so that's what I grew up on. But I loved Marvel. I would have loved to read more. Every once in a while, I would get some issues, like completely random issues, and I would read them. But it was impossible to actually follow issue per issue of story was basically impossible. So I will buy basically TPBs and try to get whole stories, like self-contained stories. So yeah, that's actually that was my childhood in Uruguay.
You said you read a lot of DC comic books when you was young.
Yeah.
Who were your favorite superheroes back then?
I mean, it was like Batman. Like if I could, I would get Batman. But even back then, I slowly started to know artists, and if I could, I would follow specific artists. So it wasn't so much about the characters, but the artists. If I could, get my hands on Bernie Wrightson comics or Kelly Jones. When I got a little older, Todd McFarlane, for example, was like all the rage. So I would try to get Spawn, every or Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. So it was more about following artists more than characters. And again, it was like slim pickings. It was really hard for me. I would pretty much buy everything I could, even if I had no idea what the story or characters were about. I would just buy them and read them and enjoy them because it was a much different time back then. Like you didn't have like 24-hour streaming or even cable. I had cable much older, like when I was like 13 or 14. So, there were specific times to watch cartoons, and I would watch every cartoon I could, even if it was like girly cartoons or what I thought was girly. I would just watch everything. If it was animated, I would watch it. And if it was like comics, I would read pretty much every comics I could get my hands on. So yeah, basically that was that. I mean, I found, for example, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, a Spanish artist, and I just, I remember buying. I still have them actually. I remember just finding Before Vendetta. I remember finding Cinder Nash by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, which I think it's a fantastic comic. You could, find a TPV that was like issue 13 to issue 17 of something. And I had no idea of the story that came before those issues, and I had no idea how they would continue. But I would buy them anyway, and I would try, if I could, I would, I would buy self-contained stories, but if I couldn't, I would just buy whatever I could. So yeah, very freaky stuff. Sometimes I will find stuff that I didn't like or didn't enjoy, but I will still read it time and time again because that's what I had. I didn't have much I didn't have many comics to read, so I would read whatever I could. So yeah.
You said you read a lot of comic books. Is there one story that made a big impression on you?
Yeah, for example, Before Vendetta. I read it. I was much too young to actually read it and understand all the themes and on all the subjects, and even the imagery was kind of dark and depressing, but that had a huge impact on me. Yeah. I remember buying and reading Before Vendetta, and I did it many times. Like I read it like dozens of times. Yeah, I love that comics, but I love comics in general. I love just storytelling and art in general, specifically black and white art.
Next question. Two questions. When did you first want to become a comic book artist? And the second one is how did you come to work in the world of comics?
Yeah. At first, I was I was always an artist. Like ever since I was, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years old. I remember like I would draw all day, every day. When I was like a teenager and becoming a young adult, I remember like thinking, yeah, I would love to draw for a living. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't know exactly if it was about comics or maybe like fantasy illustration. I was into advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I was into role playing games. So I wanted to draw or paint for a living, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So at some point, I knew a comic artist who's called Christian Duce, who is currently working on DC, and he was starting his career, but he was a few steps ahead of me. So we got into talking about art and comics and stuff like that, and he said, yeah, I mean, I can't if you want, I can teach you about comics and storytelling. And I was a promising artist, but I was like too young and too inexperienced, and I wasn't too technical. I wasn't technical enough for the craft. So I started helping him in whichever way I could, like drawing some backgrounds here and there, and doing whatever I could, and he would help me and teach me and help me perfect my craft. And when I got to a point in which I was more confident in what I could do, I decided to move on working alone, and yeah, that's basically how I started. I started in very small publishers. Many of them wouldn't even pay, or they would promise to pay, and then they wouldn't. Then I will move on to medium size publishers, and they would pay like very little money, but they were at least serious enough to publish your stuff and pay you. So every time you work, you generate a portfolio, and if you get better and better in time, you apply to bigger companies. I moved on this ladder, and yeah, here I am today. But it was like many years in the making. You don't do it overnight. It's not like you decide to work in comics one day and then you work on Marvel or DC the next one. So yeah, But
it's a long path.
Yeah, I've been working for like 15 years or something like that. So it's been a very long time. Thanks to the internet, I was able to like create a portfolio online and just send your portfolio to submissions, to the submission part of those companies, and I will like study the level of quality of those companies, and I try to be honest with myself and with them. So if I saw that like this company is producing a type of content that is similar in quality to what I do, I will apply to them.
Okay.
I was humble enough to realize that at the in the beginning part of my career, I didn't have the speed nor the quality that is needed to work on for example, the big two. So I decided to move slowly and try to get more and more confidence and quality and speed, which is super important. And eventually you end up, if all goes well, you eventually end up on the big ones. But yeah, it's a process.
Yeah. When you don't live in the US, I think it's hard to get noticed by the big two, for example. How is it really difficult, or right now with the social medias, with the internet, it's more easy?
Now it's easier than ever to show what you do, show what you're capable of doing. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's harder for a foreign artist to get into the industry. It's about working hard. Like I was presented as a Stormbreaker this year, and store breakers we are like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 people, and I'm from Uruguay. You have one person from Brazil. You have 2 people from Italy. You have 2 people from Mexico. You have one artist from Germany. So and you have like Chris Allen, for example, who is from the States, but it's only one artist from the States, and the rest of the artists come from everywhere in the world. So I believe that if you have the talent or the quality to work on the major publishers, eventually you'll be noticed by them. So yeah, I wouldn't say that it's harder. Like, not right now. Again, 20 years ago, it was a much different story. But today, I wouldn't say that it's harder. No.
Okay. You just talked about Marvel Stormbreakers.
Yeah.
It's like a private club for the best artists from Marvel. How do you feel to be part of that club? It is an accomplishment for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I sound like an old person talking like this, but growing up in the 80s in Uruguay, I would read American comics, like these superstar artists, superstar writers or artists that were like gods to me. For me, like when I was a kid, like growing up and trying my best to draw better every day, I would see what they did, and it was insane. It was absolutely insane for me. I would wonder. I would like how can these people like work at this level? How can they be so consistent and so good at what they do? They were like gods, like amazing. And they in these times we have like social media, we have Twitter and Instagram, and you can pretty much access like you can write to your favorite artist, and every once in a while I don't it doesn't happen every day, but every once in a while they will answer some questions, and they are far more accessible for fans today to reach artists and talk to them and ask them questions and whatnot. But in the 80s, that was growing in a very small country in South America. For me, it was impossible. Like they were a mystery for me. They were, they were like gods who were in the Mount Olympus, and they were. You could read an interview here or there, but you didn't have internet access. You didn't have social media, so they were, obscure figures that were somewhere and doing amazing stuff. So I grew up in that situation. So actually, getting to work for DC and Marvel was like a dream come true. I had to pinch myself pretty much every day to confirm that is still a reality. So just working for Marvel is a dream come true for me. And when Marvel decided to ask me if I wanted to be a part of the elite new series of artists, I mean, it's impossible to it's impossible to
now you are in the month
yeah
Olympus.
exactly
No,
exactly.
you are
It's like I see my younger self, like the kid inside me, is like, yeah, I mean, this is incredible. This is awesome. You tend to you normalize it because you work all day, every day, and it becomes your work. It's just a work, your regular work. But every once in a while, I try to remind myself how privileged I am that I got to this stage in my career and the things I have achieved. So yeah, I mean, it's impossible to put into words how satisfying it is to have made it to what I have, and the path that is still there are many things and many projects to do in the future. So yeah, I mean, things are looking great, and I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity.
And maybe right now a kid somewhere in the world is watching your work and he say to him, how can you draw like this?
Yeah.
How can you draw like this?
Every time I go to conventions, I mean, it's great. It's great to talk with fans of every ages. But I try, if I can, I try to I try to focus on younger fans. I try to inspire them. I try to look accessible to them. I try to draw something for them. I try to talk to them and see, to make them see that you can do it. That if you try, you have like very small kids, very very young kids who will like very humbly and even trembling, they will show you a notepad with their drawings, and I try to say that, yeah, man, that this is amazing. This is awesome. Like keep doing it. Keep drawing. This is great. You're doing great. You work. You draw much better than I did when I was your age. So I try every time I can. I try to to give them something to remember, and like a warm feeling, a warm a warm memory of the time they knew this artist, and this artist like told them to keep drawing and keep getting better, and maybe sometime I'll see kids that I drew them something, or I signed some books for them, and maybe 15 or 20 years later, they will be working on Marvel or DC titles or whatever they want to do. So I mean, if I can like at least inspire one kid, then I'm happy with that. Like
yeah. I think you work for DC and after for Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your reaction when you get the call from DC?
It wasn't really a call, but I did send my portfolio to many editors in DC, and one decided to give me an opportunity when I was like beside myself. It was like walking in on clouds. I had my first project was like 2 or 3 pages for a Green Lantern comic, And they said
Green
like,
Lantern, Al Jordan is my favorite character from DC.
oh, great. Great.
Yeah.
Glad to know. Glad to know. Yeah, and they asked me if I wanted to fill in for another artist for like 2 or 3 pages. And they said, yeah, I mean, these look great. And, for the next month, they said like, hey, would you like to do 5? And I was like, yeah, of course. And they were next. They were like, would you like to do 10? Yeah, I would love to do 10. And just eventually started to work regularly on Green Lantern and Sinestro. I
Yeah.
actually. I enjoyed more Sinestro than Green Lantern, actually, because I love villains in general. So I don't know. I like to draw more evil, darker stuff if I can. So
like maybe Tyrannos. We are going to talk about after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm having a great. Tyrannos is it's a lot of work to render him, but it's incredibly satisfying, and fans are loving him. So yeah, I mean that's awesome.
Is there a big difference working for the big 2 and the other publishers? Maybe more pressure, or no?
I mean, you don't really feel the pressure from within the company. It's not like they pressure you more than other companies, but you put that pressure on your shoulders. You're like, I mean, if you're like, I don't know, like a football player, and you get to the very top, maybe you grew up dreaming about that moment for 20 years, and you eventually make it there. So you will try and do your best, your absolute best. Like every day you will go to, you will train your hardest, and you will play your hardest. And that's basically what I do. I mean, I try to better myself every day, and I try to do my best every day. Sometimes I'm really happy with what I do. Sometimes I feel like it's like crap, because we all go through that. Most of the time, you do like a page one day, and you're like, yeah, I mean, this is looking great. I'm really happy with it. And like a week later, you're like, man, this is awful. I hate it. I hate what I do. I hate my art. I suck at it. But yeah, you eventually you move on, and you accept that that's how your brain works, and it's actually fine that it works that way, because I've seen many an artist being like too comfortable with what they do, and if you're too comfortable, you don't get any better than that. So yeah, I embrace the part of my brain that says that I suck and I should quit and work on something else, on another industry, because I'll never be a good comic artist. I embrace that part of my brain because it's part of who you are as an artist. So yeah, it's fine. The pressure I go through every day, it's something that I set to myself. I'm always competing with myself, trying to get better every day. So yeah.
Let's talk about Thor.
Yeah. Oh.
Issue 1. Did you recognize this one?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm so happy with that. That's actually my first foil cover, and it couldn't be a better one. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's great. It looks awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Second one.
Yeah, I mean,
and the
Alex
third
Ross.
one.
Okay,
awesome. First question: how did you come to work on Immortal Thor?
The talent coordinator of Marvel asked me one day if I would like to work with Al Ewing on Immortal Thor, I had experience already drawing the character. So yeah, they decided to ask me, and I said, of course I want to work on this project. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is insane. This is insane. This is an insane opportunity. So, from the first minute they asked me, I said yes, and I just, like I'm giving my best, like all day, every day, like trying to do the best Thor comic possible, at least for me and my capacity.
Before working on it, was Thor a character you like or not really?
I'm a huge Olivier Coipel fan. So
a French pride.
Exactly. I mean, he's insane. He's insanely good. So of course I was like super aware of his run on Thor comics. So, but I wasn't. Thor is a type of character that is his lore is so deep that is it's intimidating. I was aware of Kuiper's run. I was aware of Nick Klein's run, which is absolutely fantastic as well. So I have very limited time to learn about the characters I draw. So I tried to learn as much as I could, and I tried to learn as I moved on. As I said before, I didn't grow up drawing. I didn't grow up reading Thor. I didn't grow up pretty much. I had pretty much no idea about the stories of Marvel characters. So I wasn't knowledgeable on the subject. I knew that he was like an Avenger, and I knew of the character. I know, about Asgard, and I knew Mjolnir and all that stuff. But I wasn't like deep into the character. No,
Did you talk with Nick Klein or Olivier Coipel before drawing Thor? Or no?
No. I try not to do that, actually. I try not to. For example, I had to be very familiar with Nick Klein's work and Ryan Otley's run on Hulk, because I had to use both runs as reference for Banner of War. I had to know all about how their costumes are, and the machinery, if it was about Hulk, and I had to keep them always as reference. But when I draw, I try to draw my stuff. I just sit in silence with the script and read it, and if I need to use reference, I go and use that reference. But whatever comes out of, I try to use 100% of what comes out of my brain and my imagination and my storytelling, and I try to make them my own, for better or worse, but I try to make them my own. So yeah, it's not like I don't really like to see much of how this artist draws him in this or that way or whatever. I try to come up with my own details and my own stuff. You will see my inspirations. Like many people are saying, there are some details in what I do that resemble Kuiper's work. That's just because I really admire what he does, but I never copy him or go out of my way to do stuff.
You have your own style. Exactly.
it's impossible to you pick up on details that you enjoy from artists here and there, but I will never actively try to copy or follow a line, follow like draw the characters from their perspective. I always draw the characters from my perspective. They might have some similarities, but
of course,
I don't talk to other artists who have come before and have drawn my characters before, because I try to do my own version of this stuff. So yeah.
One thing I noticed immediately was the return of a more classical suit for Thor. Was it your choice or a choice from Al Ewing?
By the time I took the project, those things were already set and designed. Al said things he wanted to see in his version of Thor. He's trying to capture what he enjoyed as a kid or as a young man reading Thor. He's very knowledgeable of Thor. And Alex Ross is basically doing the same. So they both decided, I don't know exactly what conversations they had, but they both decided that he wanted to see, a brighter, like a cleaner version.
Yeah.
For example, the Thor I draw back when I did Banner 4, he was much more like battle worn, and he had this stubble, and he was like more broken. And I really enjoyed drawing that version of Thor, because I tried to do dirtier stuff. And it was a challenge, because you have to be when you like to draw, like darker stuff, and they ask you to draw people like smiling and having a good time, and it needs to come from a place of honesty. You know what I mean? You don't. If you like to draw like angry people, and they ask you to draw people smiling, you tend to at first you like I don't like that. Like why can't they like be mad and be darker and much more violent and all that stuff? Yeah, and you have to cool down and realize that this particular story is asking from a different aspect of your art. So it has to come from a place of honesty. So I have to honestly draw him much happier and much, he's happier. He smiles. He's cleaner. And at first I was a little uncomfortable with that, and over time I started to relax and get into the character and get into how he feels and his mind space. So then the more you draw, the more honest your version of the character becomes.
What it's like to work with Al Ewing? Do you have a certain freedom in the construction of a panel, or do you have precise instructions and it's impossible to take some liberties for you?
He's like really good for designing pages. Sometimes he will just give us a suggestion about the paneling, the shape or types of panel, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is amazing. This is great. So if he gives a suggestion, and I completely agree with it. Some of my best pages on this run have been suggested by him. There are pages, I can't talk about them right now because they will come on future issues, but there are some pages that were designed, the panels were designed by Al, and I read them, and I was like, man, this is awesome. This is great. I would have made a worse job on these panels. So yeah, I mean, he's fantastic. He gives you these suggestions for some pages here and there. The rest, he just says, okay, I need, like 5 panels on this page, and this is what happens in every panel, and I just do what I can or what I want with those pages.
With Immortal Thor, readers were introduced to a new character, Tauranus.
Yeah.
He's very impressive. And when I saw this character, I said to myself, "Oh, I think it's really, really difficult to draw this character." Is it true? Can you tell us more about this character?
Tauranus' design comes from Alex Ross too.
Okay. I thought it was created by you.
No.
Okay.
Alex Ross designed Tauranus. He designed the new look of Thor. He designed Utgar Loki.
Okay.
And some other stuff here and there. And he gave a very detailed description of what he would love to see in the character. And when it comes to Tauranus, I thought it was great, and it's about the introduction that Al gives to the character is like super impressive. I love cosmic horror, and I love giant stuff. I love giant creatures, coming to you and yeah, and trying to experience the horror. I mean, Thor is a god himself, so it's not like it wouldn't be the same experience for him that it would be for us. But I would try to make him look as impressive, to make Tauranus look as impressive and as dangerous as possible to us, the readers, but also to Thor, because Thor doesn't really know what he's facing. You know what I mean? He knows that Tauranus also handles the lightning, and Tauranus is actually their lightning bolts appear to be even much more powerful, and the storm, he's like the superstorm god. Yeah. So Thor realizes that everything he knows about the storm and the way he handles the storm, and he even admonishes the storm. He's realizing now that he's unable to control the Tauranus's storms. So he should be like super afraid of what's coming. So yeah. It's a type of character that I draw him like a little different. It's different than all the other characters. How I render them, how I draw them. All the other characters, I draw them in a much more classic way and the ink is more classic, and the ink on Toranos is much more like painted stuff, you know. So, and I usually I draw him, then I completely cover it in black, and then I start to make the all the details appear in different shades of gray. So it's a lot of work, actually. It's a lot of work to draw him, but I think it looks.
Before you told me that you like villains, you like comic books in black and white.
Yeah.
So it's Toranos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like to, every time I draw. Sometimes many people have said to me, like, why don't you leave this or that? Why don't you leave this to the colorist? But I like to draw pages that I will, hang on a wall and just enjoy them as they are. Maybe it will be easier for me to leave many things to the colorist and just understand that what I do is a part of a process. But I like to do my pages. I like to just look at them and enjoy them as they are. If you add color and make them better, great. But if you don't, if you decided to just publish them as they are, I think people will enjoy them as well. Again, it's a lot of work to draw the character, but I really enjoy it. So yeah.
We have seen in the first 3 issues, we have seen characters like the Warriors 3, Sif. Can we expect to see more Thor lore character like Amora, Beta Ray Bill? Can we expect to see other characters like this?
I mean, I have to be very careful with my answers because I can't just say what I know. But coming from Al and coming from his desire to explore everything he has enjoyed about Thor's lore, I think it's. I think you can expect as a fan. I think you can expect coming from Al many surprises and many appearances along the way. I mean, I think it's clear enough that he will, he will explore in his own way and with his own words and craft. He will explore everything he loves about Thor's history. So with that history, I think many surprises will come along the way. I actually, I have said before that I really enjoy working with Al, but I'm as much of as a co-creator as I am, just a fan who is working with him and expecting every time I read his new scripts, I'm just surprised of the stuff I see, So I'm just waiting because the script is being developed as we speak. It's not like we have, like 50 issues already written. So every time I open one of his scripts, I just wonder where is it going, and just enjoy the ride as a fan, as a fan that actually gets to draw it. But it's great to just explore what he's able to do and his thoughts and ideas on the character. I think it's fantastic. So yeah. There are things I know already, and there is a lot more that I have no idea how it's going to. Literally,
that's a surprise for you too.
Yeah, I have no idea where the story is going. I have no idea what he's going to do, what characters are going to appear. I have no idea. I just know a little more in advance that you guys as readers know, but just only a few issues in advance. It's not like I have all figured out. So yeah.
So we have 3 issues, and the 4th issue is about to come next week. Yeah, next week. You, how much issues have you seen? Scripts.
I am at the moment. I am completing 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last question about Immortal Thor is there a panel you like more than the other, from the issue 1 to the issue 3, like that you don't spoil anything?
Spoiler alert: if someone doesn't know about the first issue, you can stop listening now. But his appearance, Torano's appearance from the page, the double page spread in which the Statue of Liberty explodes, and Thor falls down, and then sees Torano's appearance, and then Torano's starts to come closer and closer and closer to the camera. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that sequence, I loved working on it, and I love how it looks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
So, yeah,
and that Toranos is amazing.
Thank you, my friend.
Amazing.
Thank you. And there are many panels that are yet to be seen that I really love, but I can't really talk about them. So yeah. But every issue has some panels that I really enjoy, doing and then looking at them.
Yeah, one of my favorite panel is this one.
Oh yeah.
Because you see Thor smiling, and
exactly.
And it's really, really great to see this character smiling, and because he's done his work as a god, and now he's going to see his friend on Midgard.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's happy about that.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I said, "Oh yeah, I love this Thor. He's a god, but he loves people from Midgard. He loves them."
Exactly. He loves Midgard and Asgard. So sometimes people on Midgard would like to have him around more, but he can't. Or sometimes people from Asgard would like to have him around more, and he can, but he wants to serve other people or help or whatever. There are many things to enjoy about Thor, and many things to enjoy about this new version, I believe.
Maybe with Al Ewing and you, we Thor readers can see our character evolve like never before, and this is our hope. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy the ride. I mean, I believe every writer was a fan before they became a writer in the first place. So they will write about the character from a place, in their heart and in their minds that they loved maybe when they were a kid or whatever. And every writer pretty much does that. They give a new perspective about a well-known character. So maybe you come and you take a story or a storyline or whatever, something that people already know, but you have your own perspective on the matter. So maybe you will give it a spin. You will do something others didn't. Maybe better, maybe worse, but it will be yours. So and that's also what I do with my art. I do something that it's mine, that might be similar here or there might be similar to other artists, but what I do and what I come up with is mine. For better or worse, it's mine. So he's like 61 or 62 years old by now, the character Thor. So
of course.
I mean, he's been through a lot over the years. So it's really hard to come up with something that is like 100% like new all the time. So what you can do actually is just go with your instinct and take everything you know about the character, or everything you like, or everything you loved about the character, and see what you can come up with. And maybe readers who are new readers, or readers that are like super knowledgeable on the subject, maybe both of them will enjoy what you do. Hopefully, that's what we want. That's why we try every day to come up with the stories that people actually enjoy. So yeah, that's the bet we are doing basically.
So this is the last part about your future. If there is a character you'd like to work on right now that you never worked on?
I have many characters actually, because for example, I would love to draw Wolverine. I drew him like once for a cover. I would love to draw a story about Wolverine. If it could be like super bloody and super violent, I would love to do that.
Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would love to draw Magneto, actually. I would love to draw. He is one of my favorite characters, and I would love to draw a comic or a run about Magneto. I would love to explore the character. Yeah.
Okay. Is it your favorite X-Men?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Mine is Gambit.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, Gambit is awesome, but over time, I mean, when I was a kid, I would watch the X-Men cartoons, and I was like a huge fan. Again, I wasn't able to read the comics, so I will watch the cartoon, and I was like a huge fan. So my favorite characters back then were Gambit and Wolverine. But
okay, cool.
As I grew older, I began to understand more. Even if I'm not saying that Magneto is a role model. I'm not saying that you should that you should do everything he does, but there is a core of truth in their character that I really like. I like he's a revolutionary, and he's someone who actually defends what he is, and defends his he defends he's not afraid to show the world who he is, and he shouldn't be he shouldn't a coward in fear, or he shouldn't hide who he is. So I like the emancipatory feeling that comes with the character, even if sometimes he will go to extremes. I'm not fully aware of. I don't know, like today, who is Magneto, because many years have passed of the Magneto I knew. So I don't know everything he's done, and I don't know everything about the character. But the Magneto, like the classic Magneto, I love. I love the classic character. And as you grow older, you start to understand him more. So it's about oppression and repression, You know what I mean? I despise oppression. So every time I see a powerful character who won't hide who he is and actually say, F this oppression, I will stand tall and show the world who I am, and I don't give a flying F about who you think I should be, or if you want to just destroy me, or you want to destroy my people, I will stand up and say F you. So that's what I love about the character. At least the classic Magneto character. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would love to draw like a classic Magneto. Yeah.
Great. So Magneto and Wolverine, is there a writer that you like to collaborate with?
It was a pleasure for me to work with Donny Cates, and I would love to do it again sometime. It's like a huge honor and privilege to be working with Al Ewing right now. I had a great time working with Alyssa Wong on Deadpool. So if you ask me right now about a future project or a future writer, I don't think I have knowledge enough of them to give you a proper answer. There are so many comics that I would love to read right now, and I can't. I don't have the time. I have a 3-year-old daughter, so I keep basically working and then spending time with my daughter, and that's what I do. I have books to read. I have video games to play. I have comic books or graphic novels to read. So yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I mean, I would love to. If I could say like a dream job, I would say Alan Moore. I would love to work on something like like a really dark story with Alan Moore. I would love. I'm talking about dreaming big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my answer. Yeah.
Okay, so right now we are going to do the game, the fast questions. So if you were an animal, you will be.
I don't know. I don't know. I would say a cat. A cat.
A cat. Okay.
Yeah.
If you were a color, you will be black. I think.
Black. Yeah. 100% black. Yeah.
If you were a country.
Yeah. I really love my country. I love Uruguay.
Yeah.
I love what it stands for. I love many things about my country. So yeah, I would say Uruguay.
Okay. If you were a song.
If I were a song, maybe some. Oh, it's hard for me to give you like a super. I'm the type of guy. I would spend like a week just thinking about this question. But it would be a Depeche Mode song possibly, or some metal song as well. But I would lean to or some Nick Cave song too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can't say like push the sky away by Nick Cave.
Okay, perfect. If you were a movie.
Yeah, I will be. I don't remember exactly the name in English, but it's Bronx's Tale, or A Tale of Bronx with Robert De Niro.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a
and
movie I really.
I thought I understood that you are a huge horror fan.
Yeah, yeah.
If you were an horror movie, you will be.
It depends because there are many things I love about horror. Different types of horror.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because I have. I mean, maybe the one I love the most just for nostalgia sake would be a Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Oh yeah. If you were a meal,
If I were
a meal to eat, something to eat.
I will be. This is not necessarily, not technically a meal, but I will be bread. I love bread.
Okay.
I bake bread. I am a huge bread nerd, so I will be bread. And if I wasn't bread, I would be asado uruguayen or Argentinian asado. Yeah.
Okay. And the last one, if you were a comic book character, you will be.
Oh, well, again, Magneto. I would choose Magneto. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Martin. Really, thank you so much. I want to thank you and also Cecilia.
Yeah.
Because she's really a fine person, a good person. To finish, do you plan to come to France?
I would love to. I definitely. I really. I'd love to. I haven't been invited yet. But if it's with an invitation of just myself, I'm definitely going to France. In the next, I don't know, in the next 2 or 3 years, I'll for sure go to France. So I would love to meet you.
You have to come because I have a blank cover, and you need to draw me a Thor.
Yeah. you can count on it. You can definitely count on it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. To finish, I will say gracias. Muchas gracias.
Merci beaucoup.
Oh, great. Thank you much. My brother, exactly.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. Time just flew by. So and let's do it again sometime in the future.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day or great night.
Bye.
Actually.
Yeah. For me, it's night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Martin. Thank you.
Thank you.